I'm Zitong Wang, and this is my 3D model of the skin. So we have the epidermis layer, the hypodermis, the dermis, and information on my skin disorder, which is acne. So first, let's talk about the epidermis. As shown here, I have 5 layers, from deep to superficial: stratum basilae, stratum spinosum, stratum granulosum, stratum lucidum, and stratum corneum. So, the epidermis is the topmost layer of the skin. It is also the thinnest layer, but it's responsible for protecting you from the outside world. Let's talk about the 5 layers from deep to superficial, starting with stratum basilae. New skin cells develop in this layer. It also contains keratinocyte stem cells, which produce keratin. Keratin helps form your nails, hair, and your skin's outer layer, which protects you from the environment. It also produces melanocytes, which are responsible for producing melanin, which produce the pigment of your epidermis, also known as your skin color. Next is the stratum spinosum. This layer consists of keratinocytes held together by sticky proteins called desmosomes. The stratum spinosum helps make your skin flexible and strong. In the middle layer, we have stratum granulosum. The stratum granulosum are keratinocytes that have granules within them. In this layer, they're visible under a microscope. This layer is represented by pasta. Next, we have stratum lucidum, which is the thin, transparent layer of keratinocytes that are becoming less round and have a flatter shape. In this layer, the keratinocytes are drying up and slowly starting to die off. Finally, we have stratum corneum. This is the topmost layer of the epidermis. This layer, you can see that the stratum corneum, in the stratum corneum, keratinocytes have become corneocytes, which are strong, dead keratinocytes that protect you from harm, including abrasions, light, heat, and pathogens. This layer also consists of fats that keep the water from easily entering or leaving your body. The corneocytes eventually will shed as new keratinocyte cells that develop in the stratum basilae layer and move through the other layers of the skin. Next, let's talk about the middle layer of the skin, which is the dermis. So, the dermis works together to protect your body, including supporting your epidermis, which is your outmost protection. It feels different sensations through nerve endings like pressure, pain, heat, cold, and itchiness. The layer also produces sweat, keeps your skin moist, and produces hair. So first, let's talk about hair. There are 3 sections and 3 parts to hair: the hair root, the hair follicle, and the hair shaft. All 3 of these work together to insulate against cold by conserving body heat. Another couple functions of hair include protection, sensory input, and communication. Let's move on to the glands. So first, we have apocrine gland. The apocrine glands are usually scent glands, and their secretions have an odor. They open into the hair follicle, leading to the surface of the skin. Next, the sebaceous gland. The sebaceous gland is to produce and secrete sebum, which is a complex oil including triglycerides, and fatty acid breakdown products. Sebum lubricates the skin to protect against friction and makes it even more impervious to moisture. Next, we have the eccrine gland. The eccrine gland, which is controlled by the sympathetic nervous system, regulates body temperature. When internal temperature rises, the eccrine gland secrete water to the skin surface, where heat is removed by evaporation. Next up, we have the nerve fibers, represented by the yellow. This is pretty self-explanatory, as the function of the nerve fibers are the same as any other nerves in the body. These sensory nerves are there to sense and transmit heat, pain, and other noxious sensations. Finally, we have the dermal papillae. The dermal papillae is there to help adhesion between the dermal and epidermal layers. The dermal papillae also plays a major role in our fingerprints. All of this and all of the dermis consists of 2 layers, which is the papillary layer and the reticular layer. Next, let's move on to the deepest section of the skin, which is the hypodermis. The hypodermis has many functions, including connection, insulation, protection, and storing energy. The storing energy comes from the hypodermis cells, which are adipocytes, which store the energy. This is also known as adipose tissue, which is a fatty tissue that consists of adipocytes. You can think of adipose as fat and lipids. Next up, we have Pacinian corpuscle, which is an encapsulated ending of sensory nerve that acts as a receptor for pressure and vibration. Finally, we have blood vessels. Blood vessels include arteries, capillaries, and veins. They circulate blood throughout the body and help deliver oxygen to vital organs and remove waste products. Now, let's talk about the skin disorder I have chosen, which is acne. Here's a picture of acne, which you can see on the face. So, the fun facts. 85% of Americans will suffer from acne, which is about 40 to 50 million Americans affected, making it the most common skin disorder in the US. Also, note that acne has no age restriction. Even though it is common in teenagers, when puberty begins, adults can also develop it into their 50s. The most common forms of acne are face, chest, and back. Washing your face twice a day is enough, but if you wash more, it may irritate your skin and exacerbate acne. Stress may also not play a vital role in acne, although it is considered. There are not enough good studies to prove that stress hormones actually make a difference. So, overall, let's talk about some fun facts about the skin. Your skin makes up of 15% of your body weight. 1 square inch of your body has about 300 sweat glands. Your skin is the largest organ in your body. There are about 300 million skin cells in each human body. And some common skin disorders is atopic dermatitis, acne, shingles, and etc. Overall, this is my project on the 3D skin.